Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Perfect. Nice. We should start a band. Beach Boys Harmony Band.
Woo, did it go? I'm so proud of us.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me excitations. I'm fuck, that was great.
That was great.
It's decided then. This is also definitely the start of this episode too. To show us off. Like, I mean, a record executive could be listening, right? And this is the story. This is how it starts, right? Will be like that thing you do. Well, our Tom Hanks, right, is listening.
He's listening
somewhere.
right now.
Steve's on. Steve's on.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Shit.
We all wanted to be Steve's on.
Of course. He was the best action figure from that set.
Fuck.
Listen. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hypecast.
Hype.
Nice. The show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm one of your hosts, David Bell.
I'm the other guy subbing in for Tom Ryman. My name is Abe Epperson.
Thank you, Abe.
I'm Seanbaby from the internet. The internet's Steve's on.
Yes. Hello, Jonathan Baby. How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks for being on. I
live to get hyped.
You know. Yeah. You are a hype master, so it's great to have you here. And I guess right away, is there anything like when you say you're from the internet? Can you specify?
Sure. I did invent being funny on the internet back on Seanbaby.com, but now I'm working on a thing called 1-900hotdog.com. It's the very last comedy website of its kind. And we also have a podcast called The Dog Zone 9000. 2 G's, 2 Z's, and 3 O's. And we talk about crazy, wild things. We're garbage archaeologists, but we're also friends.
Yeah.
Yes. I just listened to your one on the Dr. Ruth sex game, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, for that one, we had our good friend Hannah Michaels on, and we played the Dr. Ruth sex game. And explaining any more would only confuse you.
Yeah, it is a very unsexy game.
It
I'll
is
just say
sultry,
that.
though.
Profoundly unsexy. Yeah. Like record scratch sexy. Like, we're not sure you're allowed to say that shit out loud unsexy.
Oh,
right.
Just how I like it.
Yeah.
Abe,
do you what's your deal?
Yeah. Let's do a plug for me. You can go to patreon.com/smallbeans where Michael Swaim and I do some podcasts as well. So head on over there and check us out. We do the same thing as basically Gamefully does. So there you go.
Better. You should have said but better.
But better. Not.
I mean, it's weird.
No.
I guess it's weird if you did that, but
it would be weird.
Yeah.
So David, did Hannah have fun on the Dr. Ruth game? Was that?
Oh yeah, she did. Was it difficult to tell? I talked to her about it. Yeah, it was very fun.
Was it difficult to tell?
We just aren't like close enough that like when it was done, I'm like, did I like really like?
No, she's fine. I believe. I mean, I don't want to speak for her. All I know is she seemed to enjoy it. She said she enjoyed it. It was funny because I think she had done it long enough ago that I was like, so you had sex with He-Man? And she's like, what? And I'm like,
which time?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he found out.
She, I guess this is a spoiler if you haven't heard the episode, but she did prematurely ejaculate the A-Team van right off the game board. I guess this is what I mean. I'm only going to confuse you if I try to give you details.
Right. The game is it's a really troubling game that I do want to play now.
Yes.
It seemed fun.
Me and you, Dave. Let's just play. Just me and you.
Okay. All right.
I can break the board game out. It's over in my closet.
Okay.
But
I don't
you
want to
can't
record
play.
it, though.
Oh, it's just for us? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have to thank some producers here, so I
Yes,
think we can do that.
sir.
And I'm going to thank the ghost of Dave Thomas. Thank you very much. Thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Woo.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Hype.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Yep.
Thank you to Abe Epperson, a swell dude.
Not me.
Thank you to AJ.
Woo.
Thank you to Andrew Howe. Deck the halls with blood.
Hype.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Oh.
Thank you to Barry Two Math says Scott never died and Scott jokes are lazy Gen X nonsense. Pick it up.
Let's thank
Pick it up.
Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Let's not forget Boodleson.
Thank you.
Let's come around to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank you.
Let's thank Brockway, loves the meat Millie.
Yeah, he does.
Let's thank Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
How about Christopher Roberts Sparts, Esquire?
Thank
Let's
you.
not forget Chiz Killy Tits.
Thank you.
And Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you very
And
much.
last but not least, Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas, Francis.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's my
We've done our
producer voice.
vocal warm-up exercises.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hyped. I think we're hyped. We talked about sex and Dr. Ruth.
Yeah, let's get into some trailers, huh?
Yeah. And let's start with the real sexy one here, the Boston Strangler.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Not to be confused with the Greasy Strangler.
Yes, very different movie.
See, I like legacy media video movies because they're from this other world. And then the movies always get that other world wrong. So it's like we can't relate to the movie and it's wrong because this whole trailer is people saying like, "Don't you dare chase this sexy story about a strangler. We don't want stories in our newspaper about murders."
You're going to have to
You're
cut
right.
through the red tape on this one.
That is a really weird thing, isn't it?
it's like-
that the newspaper
is
is like, we don't want this covered.
Yeah.
But Chris Cooper is the one who's saying this, so I'm kind of on board.
Yeah, no, he has
Also-
a lot of gravitas.
Yeah.
Like, I believe him.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if they just went rogue in the story and made him the Boston Strangler.
Ooh.
Like that's going to be the reveal is that he's actually been doing it.
that'd be
and
so
then
good.
it's Keira Knightley, right? Like she kills him at the end,
God,
and they
that'd be
just
cool.
Strangs him.
Yeah, I want these to do the Tarantino and just deviate from history completely, but while doing it not in a tongue-in-cheek way, so the audience has to leave and go, wait. Was that what happened? And has to like Google it.
Yeah. Also, looking at this trailer, holy mind hunter David Fincher.
Yeah.
Am I right? Like, it's not
Holy
a David
Zodiac,
Fincher
David
film.
Fincher, yeah.
But for a second, I was like, is this a David Fincher film, though?
It's definitely that's its goal.
It's a genre now. He's that impressive.
I honestly feel like you could have just said Boston Strangler movie and my brain would have just filled in the blanks with this exact trailer.
Yes.
Exactly.
To the point that it has fucking Polka Dot Man, because of course it does. Whenever you need someone to play like a weird creep, a possible murderer, there
just
he
shows
is.
That's the guy.
You don't even have to audition. He just shows up on set.
Yeah.
Like Batman called by
Right.
the
He
light.
sensed it.
His first day of acting, he just gave 6 hours of generic, like, "I'm not a murderer" kind of like lines, and they just
Yeah.
stick those in every movie.
Yep.
The CGI,
This,
whatever clothes they need on him.
What do you is this anything? This movie? Like I don't recognize the director. I who is also the writer. Like you said, it looks like it's being very Fincher. Like I can see myself watching this, you know,
And then forgetting about it 2 days later.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
did I watch that? Or did I just watch the other 20 movies exactly like it? I don't remember.
Right.
Did you guys like Zodiac? Because that was like that's the
I
one
did.
that really tried our patience, right? Now I know that is Fincher and he's pretty good, but like that thing was long as hell, and we were like, yeah, this is pretty good. I like what's happening here, and it seems like tonally, the pacing and everything, that slow ass pace. They're just aping that. So
yeah,
so it's like
which you shouldn't get from a trailer. Like if a trailer says this movie's so slow, like man, somebody fucked up.
So yeah, like I don't have a lot of high hopes for it, but at the same time, like I have waded through this tone for a long ass time. So we'll see.
I'm not sure how to put this. Zodiac to me feels like an epic where it's like, oh yeah, I could waste 3 hours on the Zodiac. Whereas Boston Strangler, I'm like, this better be like 90 minutes tops, which is weird because I don't know much about either. So it's like I'm just getting the vibes where it's like,
well, one guy like taunted society with like codes and things, and the other one strangled
and
ladies.
For years.
yeah. He's like, excuse me while I puzzle this lady.
Yeah.
Like the other thing is we're gonna have to deal with so many like massholes. Like it's just Boston, right? Like that's a whole level of something that I have to deal with for the whole movie.
Yeah, I like that it feels unclear that they know if they know to do the accent or not. Like, because this takes place. When does the Boston Strangler? Like, this feels old timey as shit, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And it feels like they're not sure if like they had the accent. I guess it's more. It's not that old timey, but it's really like whenever there's a Boston movie, it feels like it's like the actors show up and they just all go like, "Well, I'm doing the accent," or like, "I'm not doing it."
I'm not doing
I'm
it.
from Boston's 1970.
Oh.
That would be amazing if they all just did different accents or something.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a movie.
But you know, Keira Knightley.
We shouldn't have
Yeah.
led with this one. If we want to get maximum hype, we probably shouldn't have led with this one. But
All right, so you want to know my hype formula? Is I usually lead with the one that like is kind of like like in the news a bit. Like this one has been like more in the news, and it's not necessarily the one I'm the hypest about. I tend to end with the more hype ones because I feel like we want an increasing hype, right?
Yeah,
I can
We
see
want the
by the
hype to
Google
grow.
Doc you've moved things around for exactly that
me
reason.
too. Yeah.
Good,
Exactly.
great.
We gotta work
100% agree with the choice.
Yeah, we got to get into a fever pitch. We got to get all feverish and sick. You know, that's how hype.
I
we
get
gotta
it. It's like an orchestra. It's like jazz.
Yeah,
It's like a jazz orchestra.
You get it.
It's like jazz.
This guy
It really
gets
is.
it.
So let's keep going then, because this next trailer is for Love and Death, the most generic goddamn title ever.
Yeah.
With Jesse Plemons playing a Jesse Plemons type,
Right.
which means schlubby boyfriend / lover.
To sex symbol. To celebrated sex symbol.
I love how much game Jesse Plemons has in the fictional world.
Yeah.
Like we put him with so many like romantic plots. It's really, I mean, I'm not against it. It's just so oddly specific.
Yeah, he's great.
He is. He's kind of.
But yeah, Elizabeth Olsen wants to fuck him this time, and I bet it turns out real bad. It looks like she probably gets him to kill her husband or something.
Something, which again, very
covered up.
Jesse Plemons position to be in.
You're right. Yeah.
So you don't think she was just attracted to Jesse? She's not stepping out with Jesse Plemons because of his like sexual magnetism.
I think
it's step one of a plan.
It could be both.
It could be both. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it could be both.
It's
You're right.
HBO Max, baby. Anything's possible.
Right. This is a show. It's
show.
based upon a book that I didn't read.
I definitely
I didn't either,
read.
but like I could tell just from the background music of this trailer that like somebody's getting murdered. Like this is some deception and intrigue ending in murder.
Yeah.
And also it has the word death in the title. That's kind of a tip. I'm starting to figure out somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, I'm starting to warm up to it. Here's the other thing: is that there's a show already called like Love, Death, and Robots or something like that.
There sure is.
So I got confused right out of the gate when I was like, "They ain't no robots in this."
There might be a show just called Love too.
There's also a
Right.
show called Love. Is there a show called Death? No.
Is this like maybe this is the prequel?
probably.
Maybe this ends with a robot showing up.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
I mean, I generally Jesse Plemons. He's stepping right into that Philip Seymour Hoffman like role, right? Where he's like,
my brain completely confuses the two of them all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Which it isn't to say that they're completely alike. It's just that they play like they're kind of like schlubby guys who are great actors, and they're both blonde. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I think people do confuse them. I'm just happy to see him in things.
It's the allure.
As a schlubby guy, I like being represented. You know,
I loved his season of Fargo.
Yeah.
It's that magnetic pudge. That's what I'm calling both of those guys.
He's perfect. And I don't know. This looks good. You know, or it doesn't look bad at least.
Two great actors.
It also doesn't really tell us much, I feel like, from this trailer.
For sure. Yeah, they're coasting on star power and like premium cable power. They're like, this is going to be real competent and funded.
Some producer out there is going, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And it is.
Yeah.
It's probably
going to be fine.
And we shouldn't worry about it.
Exactly. Man, we're zipping through these because I have nothing else to say about that.
I really don't.
I agree.
All right. All right. Well, let's talk about this next one, which I honestly also don't have much to say about. Invitation to a Murder, which once again, extremely generic title.
Yes.
Extremely.
This is okay. So this is just a house where they all. It's just a clue. It's just
it's an Agatha Christie,
and somebody gets. Yeah, it's an Agatha Christie. It is. What I like about this is it is so by the numbers that like it's probably going to really please this crowd who's probably tired of this type of formula with a hook. Like, I guess when I grew up, I really liked comic books and I always wanted like comic book toys, but I grew up during a time when the industry wouldn't allow a toy to come out without weird accessories. Like somehow that got locked into the business model. And so you couldn't get a Spider-Man. You had to get like window washing Spider-Man or Safari Spider-Man or whatever. And so I quickly learned the value of just a hookless premise of a thing you love. Like a zombie movie with no second thing was just the most precious thing you could find.
Right.
And so this feels like that for the people who like murder mysteries in a bottle.
So, yeah, it feels like LARPers. It feels like they're just playing.
For sure.
Like they go on a boat, they go on a train, they go in a mansion, and it's like, yep, hitting all the things. So I want to note that this director, and nothing against them, but just looking at their films, they do basically remember those like Asylum type movies? This director has done Dragon Hunter, The Maze, which is about a cornfield, Dudes and Dragons. Guardians of Time, which was like, again, they're all movies that are knockoffs. They all look like other popular movies.
What's Guardians of Time a knockoff of?
Well, it's got the Guardians of the Galaxy type of title.
I got it.
But it also looks kind of like a Harry Potter if you click on the like it's got like a world of magic and stuff.
It's a mess.
So this is not
it's a mess.
It's not a hookless thing. This is like a knockoff of it in a bad way. This is a Sharknado knockoff of.
Well, it might be good. I'm
Can
not
you
going to say it's
imagine
not
how
good.
crazy it would be if it was good?
I know,
the
right?
director of Guardians of Time makes a glass onion and it's like good, ridiculous.
Yeah, everyone is talking about it, and Misha Barton has like a whole comeback renaissance.
Yeah.
You know,
but that is what I want to say about this, which is that to me this is a sign that is murder mysteries going to be the next like big blockbuster thing, because it's coming back, right? We're getting murder mysteries, and if we're seeing like the Asylum like ripoffs, that's just like generic murder mystery. That's got to be a good sign.
I would agree
for the murder mystery genre.
Yeah, I love a nice murder mystery. I'm really enjoying Poker Face. I loved the new Glass Onion.
There's also the
Clue, of course.
I mean, yeah. In recent times, we got the Kenneth Branaghs, right? The Murder in Orient Express and then Death on the Nile. I want to say,
which were fine. They were perfectly fine.
They were
murder
exactly.
mysteries.
They were. To me, that was vanilla Spider-Man. To me, there's no hook with an Agatha Christie, really, because she's the OG.
Right. It's the same with Sherlock Holmes. When you read old Sherlock Holmes, you're like, oh, I know exactly who did it, because this is like, this is Mystery 101.
Yeah. It's dusty ass tome.
It's like when you're in the mood for that, and it's just perfect that there's, you can turn to this and get what you need.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like an Asylum knockoff of a murder mystery is going to be exceptionally bad. I mean, like if it's so dumb that you find the murder immediately, that's going to be a bummer. I think you're right that it could turn out that they're LARPers, that they're going to do an M. Night Shyamalan twist where halfway through the movie they're like, oh yeah, we're all like dressed in period costumes for a dinner party.
But there's an actual murder, and then they have to do the actual thing they're LARPing as. I could see that, but that is like, that's so basic of a twist because it does not change anything.
Yeah, also, the synopsis at least says it takes place in 1934. I think we feel like they're LARPers because they just didn't have that much of a budget. And so the costumes are all like really clean and like new looking.
Yeah. And all the actors look like they have seen an iPhone face.
Yes. Yeah, they definitely do.
Their eyes are glazed over with iPhone.
Yeah. The synopsis is, I'm just going to say, badly written. For 1934, south of England, for no apparent reason and like 5 other unrelated people, Miranda, unrelated people, Miranda, a 29-year-old florist, is invited for the weekend in the mansion of billionaire Louis Findlay. I don't know. I think there's a better way to write that.
Almost literally said yada yada. That almost is like,
and like 5 other people, unrelated people, sounds like, I think they meant like similar to, but it just sounds as if they're like, filling in the sentence.
Look, we don't know how we got here either. I don't think it's important to any of us or you. Don't know why we put it in the synopsis.
Yeah.
Yet another producer that will be like, yeah, this will be fine, right? This is going to be fine.
This will be fine. They should have named this movie "This Will Be Fine," right?
This will be fine, right?
One hook I like for a nice murder mystery is a Man Who Knew Too Little type of thing, where like one guy doesn't know what's going on at all, but is like Mr. Magooing his way through, and like he's being successful in his through his bumbling. I like that. If that's like, the twist, I'd
like
be
a Columbo, but like actually bumbling is what you're saying.
Kind of, yeah. Like if you're familiar with The Man Who Knew Too Little, I love that movie. It's where Bill Murray.
You a clean slate fan over there?
Sure. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's a hook I'll allow for my murder mystery.
Give me a blind dog any day. It's a deep cut.
Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the lake. This is out of not Indonesia.
Thailand.
It's Thailand. Yeah.
This is this is out of Thailand. It's a Thailand Chinese production. It is a giant monster that comes out of a lake. I had read up on it a bit because it got a little bit of hype around it. It's mostly animatronics. It's like 40% CGI. It's got that real like 90s Emmerich feel.
Yeah.
It's the trailer's doing a good job at like, the creature's only in the darkness. The creature designer is pretty well known in that they've worked on a lot of things like Alien films and Predator films, etc. What do you guys think of this?
It looks pretty awesome, but also it looks like they took all of the creature footage in the trailer from the same scene.
Yeah.
And so that had me a little concerned that like, is there just like 20 seconds of the creature and I saw all of it already? Hopefully that's not true. But yeah, the creature looks pretty cool. You could tell it's very practical. They had a big old animatronic head in the rain, and I was like, this feels like a throwback.
Yeah.
Feels like high effort, I guess.
Yeah.
And it seems like I like the simplicity of a lot of this cinema, especially like action and adventure Asian cinema. We see a lot of very simple rules, kind of like Jaws-esque, like shark attack, boy, go out, kill shark. Kid finds a strange egg, turns out to be a monster, it kills everyone in a lakeside town. Mm-hmm. That's all you need to know.
Right.
And like kind of like Indonesian film, like Raid Redemption, gotta get to the top of that tower, kill everybody. Like that's as simple as it gets. And I love the streamlined kind of just aspect of that.
I like when it's not how elaborate you can make the plot. It's just how well you can execute a simple plot.
Right.
And I want to throw another thing in there. I would prefer the plot to be centered around the region's martial arts. Like in The Raid, everyone's doing the penchaks a lot. Like if I'm in Indonesia, I want some penchaks a lot. A Thai movie, I want to see some Muay Thai. I want to see some Muay Baran. I want some flying elbows. I want them to take this monster out with like two guys chop elbowing it on the top of the head.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to go the
incredible.
reverse and say, like, that's how the monster's main threat is that he's dropping
he's just-
elbows.
Sweet elbow strikes.
He's just
flying knees and
practicing.
everything. Oh, God, I would love that.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He comes from the Muay Thai
pretty cool.
swamps.
Yeah. He's focusing on his voodoo. Also, something that Dave said. You said that it's like shows the monster in the dark, and it's true that it's like, because it's all mainly one scene, it's like only lightning flashes and the rain, and it's in nighttime, so you don't really see it. But I would say for modern day trailers, the monster's pretty prevalently in the trailer. Like
That's a good point.
It covers a lot of the footage, and what do you guys think of
all
that?
the questions I had. How big is it? Is he humanoid, or is he a crocodile? Is he a dinosaur?
Right.
Like it's
Not just
Does
like
he
a
have
fang or
genitals?
something.
Does he have genitals? Can I make love to it? But yeah, like you really get a good sense of exactly what it is, whether it came from space. I don't think it comes from space. I don't think it's a dinosaur. I think it's just a straight up monster. But I don't think like it's like a mythological. I don't think there's a magic element. Like all my questions got answered. I'm ready to watch him fight the monster.
I like that it's like the size of a T-Rex. Like this is what we were talking about, where I like the smaller scale too that happens with like the simplicity, where it from the synopsis, it's just about protecting a town, and it's like, yeah, if a monster like the size of a T-Rex came out of the water, we would eventually be able to handle that.
Yeah, that's super killable.
Man,
the first couple hours might be a bit tough for us, and that's what this is about.
Right. Reminds me of that movie that you and I watched on. We just watched Troll.
From the director of
Norwegian
The
one.
Wave.
I saw that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little kitty cat. I love him. Here's the thing. You're absolutely right, Dave. Because we got too big. I mean, I'm not just talking about like kaiju films. I mean, that obviously is what started everything, and it's just like, gotta make Godzilla bigger, bigger, bigger. But like, we've gotten to the point now in like superhero movies where, what was that, Eternals, where it's like shots of like, there is a dude inside a planet, you know, and his hand is like coming out of the planet, and it makes no sense. And it's just like everything has to become cosmic in its staging. And I'm like, I do really like the return to just like, oh no, it's just like it's big, it's hard to handle. It's like a tank, like several tanks.
I think what it comes down to is scale does not equal
Stakes.
drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, if Thanos kills half the universe, we feel that just as much as if a single character we care about dies.
Right.
Because it's when the scale gets that big, it's very hard to, it kind of breaks your brain, I think, at a certain point. And what it ultimately comes down to is, do we care about what is happening to the characters we're seeing?
Right.
Which you can have a large scale movie be very dramatic, obviously, too. It's just, the higher the scale doesn't make it more dramatic.
I feel like, for a thing like the Thanos blip, it's like, it's too big for a human mind. But also, if a Godzilla, you're like, I don't know what I would do. But if it's a T-Rex, you're like, I think I could contribute to killing this T-Rex.
Right.
Like you could put yourself there and think, what would I do? And you could come up with ideas that like would work.
Right.
Like you could distract it with a grenade or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even maybe the grenade kills it, shove it down its throat. You know, you got some moves. Have you guys seen Shin Godzilla? Pretty recent Godzilla.
No.
So the structure of that it's so weirdly satisfying and unique, where they just keep trying shit on Godzilla until something finally works. And there's like no real like act 2. It's just they keep doing stuff.
Right.
Finally one of them works. Movie's over.
Love it.
And it really is just like a video game, like an old arcade game.
That sounds delightful.
You just got the unlock.
And I'm saying
Damn.
this could be a movie
now
like
I want to
that.
watch it.
Yeah.
Because I want to
It
know
could
what
be
the
them like,
unlock
oh, Muay
is.
Thai doesn't work, machetes don't work, small arms don't work. All right, we got these surface tear
arms.
missiles we found. Light it up. Cool. We're done. Bye.
You did it. All right, we're heroes. Let's go home and fuck our wives.
Actually, take the order I said them and reverse it. The missiles don't work, the guns don't work, the machetes don't work, the Muay Thai gets it.
Yeah.
That's a better movie.
Hell yeah.
Just throw a bunch of them in there and just let them go to town. I love it. I love it so much.
Well,
Next
we got another
song?
movie here. We got another movie here that is kind of also a monster movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? It's called The Swarm. it's a TV show and it's German.
Yeah.
And did you guys get the sci-fi original series vibe from it, like a little bit?
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it seems like they're doing it like it's based off like a book, and it is kind of compelling. The premise seems to be that the ocean's attacking us. Did I get that right?
Yeah. A coordinated ocean attack with pandemic zombie-ish. No, not quite zombie. Like it's
something's
like
fucking up the
crab
scene.
monsters that get inside you and just kill you.
I
the
think there's
whales
an
are
entity.
mad.
It's some kind of biological entity, or they call it in the movie a force, making like sea animals attack everything. And then at one point, we straight up just have a rogue wave, and so you assume, okay, so like, did whales do that? Like how?
Right? Is it
control water? It might be like an abyss kind of situation where it's like a deep sea creature who can. It's like a godlike, like a Poseidon kind of idea, not like the movie with the boat. I'm talking.
The first line was like, "We know more about outer space than the ocean."
Yeah,
and so it's like, oh right, so there's something down there we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
The crap.
Yeah, it's oddly, this trailer made me want to see this because I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Right.
What's in there? What causes these little crabs and whales to get mad and this tidal wave? I bet it's dumb, but I want to know.
I bet it's real dumb, like a moonfall.
Yeah.
The like my experience of watching this trailer, which is like 20 seconds in, I like actually like started clapping alone in my room to myself because I was like, yes, crab movie.
Right, killer crab.
And then I was like a little sad for a bit because then it would like cut to other fish and I was like, oh, I just wanted it to be a swarm of crabs. That was the problem.
The swarm.
So cool.
But there also, it brought me back because a whale drops a hammer on the boat.
That was super
breaks
sweet.
it in half. Super
did you
sweet
guys
whale.
make a note of the very final line in the trailer? Did you?
No, what was it?
I meant to make a note of it. It was like this guy. It looked like he was addressing the entire world. So it was imagine he's like president of America or something, and he's like, to any invading force that threatens us, I like to suggest, maybe don't. And like that's how they ended it. It was just like this limp, like little.
So good.
Please don't invade and kill us, guys. And I'm just like, what is this? Who wrote this movie?
Man,
I don't know,
man. Oh, man. There's something I want to notice just because this is a trailer park. This is where we talk about trailers. Just a general kind of thing that happens is they're getting really good at, and they did this with like a few years ago with that Netflix show, The Dark,
Right.
where the movie's in German. But the trailer makes you think it's in English because every time it cuts to someone, it's on the personal pronouns or something like that, where it's like, or it's in like a name of something. So the word is literally the same and the lips are moving in the exact same way because that's just how you say that thing.
Right.
But all of the sentences, all of the grammar, all of the language itself is like off screen and just played in
dubbed.
voiceover. It's dubbed, yeah.
It's how they get you.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm guessing they probably will get a dub, but you didn't need it for the trailer. And now you're gonna kind of go watch it. Probably a lot of people walked into a lot of what they've done, and I've seen a lot of these, and they really get you every time. They're really good at editing around it because of how I think trailers are cut naturally. Like we have this expectation that it's like, yeah, you don't really see people talk in trailers.
It's all voiceover and stuff. Yeah.
It's for the most
They're
part.
like, I got an idea. We'll make it more appealing if we call it the Swarm instead of the Swarmenwagen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Der Schwarm. It's so good.
Yeah, man, this is such a TV show. I just have to point that out. I'm looking at the poster for it. Mm-hmm. This is the bummer, is that I want to know what this fucking swarm is. I'm scared I'm gonna have to watch like
a movie.
10 episodes.
Episode 5 or 6
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
you find out for sure.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just how it
But
works.
it's based off a book, so I don't know.
The iconic book, according to the trailer.
Yeah, that was also
Wow,
weird. All
fuck,
of the
man.
things that it said. It was building
The
itself
synopsis doesn't help. It's an ecological thriller about the delicate interconnectedness between mankind and Earth. That's the description.
up. Yeah, dude.
Fuck you.
It's
Just tell me.
It's like I'm telling you, it's Poseidon, man, and he's gonna come out at the end with his trident, and he's just gonna stab everybody. It's gonna be dope.
God, I really hope you're right. I want you to be right.
Release the crabs.
I
That'd be
looked up.
so good.
I looked up the novel, and it does say it's a bestseller according to Google. And German for the swarm is Der Schwarm. So I was close.
Schwarm.
I was pretty close. I added a burger or something, but like I was close.
The Schwarmburger. Yes, the Burger Swarm.
That's a movie I'd watch.
And eat.
This review is calling it reassuringly straightforward and familiar. And I'm like, really?
Two readers of the book, The Crab Invasion.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
Getting killed by the ocean.
That's
What
great.
is this? Why won't anybody tell me what this is?
It also feels like the biggest reach ever by a critic to say like it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will remind you of finer films.
Yeah.
I'm never going to learn. I'm never going to know what this is. There's no way.
Hell yeah.
All right. Main event. This, by the way, not great trailer week. Did you guys notice this?
Yeah, it's garbage.
Well, it was
I wouldn't
garbage.
say these last two are pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I know, I'm
we're gonna
saving
make
the
up
best for
it.
last.
Hype is incoming.
The Pope's Exorcist.
Yes.
Starring
Exactly
Russell
what it sounds like.
Crowe.
Exactly what it sounds like.
I was so pissed, Sean. I was
Written
so
by
pissed.
3 people. Written by 3 people. This is the director. This kind of shocked me, of Overlord, a movie I thought got more hype that they would then make this movie. This is just every exorcism movie ever made.
It
With
had
Russell
the
Crowe.
chance. It had the chance to be something else entirely, which is exactly what the title sounds like, which is the Pope gets possessed, and
Yes.
they are cowards.
They are
And the movie
cowards.
looks like possibly Russell Crowe, the Pope's exorcist. I guess that's like a position that you hold in the Catholic Church. He gets possessed probably, and that's
Maybe.
they're just cowards. This is
Absolute
some
cowards.
Hollywood
Hard
bullshit.
agree.
I'm not here to stand for it. You know.
Hard agree. Folks, if you haven't watched this trailer and you know what I'm talking about, you're already probably picturing little kids talking in deep voices. Their eyes roll. They bend weird. And that is what this is.
Yep.
It is. I am so confounded that we put at least 2 of these out a year. And I don't know who's fucking watching them.
Here's what
But I just have to say, Russell Crowe. Do an exorcism voice where he's doing that Italian, like, I'm an exorcist voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love a Russell Crowe accent.
Yeah.
Here's what I truly love is they try to set it up like, no, the guys, this is a real one. He's like, yeah, see, I'm like a real exorcist. So most of the people I exorcise, I actually get sent to a psychiatrist because 98% of the time it's just someone with mental problems. But it's those 2%.
That are
And then you look down and it says based on a true story, which means like, again, we live in a world where like a huge majority of people think this is real, like that the demons can get inside a child and do magical power stuff, and you need to call a special magician into your home to like dodge the puke and throw a Bible at them until the demon leaves the child, and that's like a real thing.
Right.
So-
They should. It's bleak, but they should all say based off a real event of a person with epilepsy being mistreated.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's what should actually just be put on
Right.
the screen every time. Because that's what
Confounded by
actually these stories are based
epilepsy.
off of.
Yeah. It's also they do the very typical thing, which I feel like at this point, because like stars are dying, you know, the concept of like a celebrity in that way that has pull for the movie, like they always overcompensate now. And I think Russell Crowe, I don't know if it's like contractually obligated, but it's like just the tone of what like a movie that he would choose, which is, because he's old school, is that everyone in the trailer's hyping him up. Like you said, like 98%. They're not real. He's like playing the humble brag because everyone else in the movie is like, he's the real badass exorcist. All of those other exorcists suck a dick.
Which,
Russell
by the
Crowe
way,
is real.
That is also in most of these movies. They all are based on a true story, and they all have like renegade exorcists where they're like, you're too wild. And he's like, you don't like it? Go to my boss.
Yeah.
He's the Pope.
He's the Pope.
And it's like, man.
I can't call the Pope. I
can't call the Pope.
I got some complaints about your Exorcist. Oh, my child, I'm kind of busy.
I'm the Pope.
It's a really horrible, like, they've been doing this a lot where, like, the Exorcist TV show, I watched like half of the first episode, and there's a part where two priests point guns at each other.
Hell
And I was like, what are we doing? Where they want exorcists for some reason to be like God cops now, like grizzled God detectives and everything. It's really weird.
Like, what do they think our expectations of priests are? Like, like, keep them away from kids. Like, that's what we think when we think of priests. So when they're like, oh, we're going to defy your expectations. This priest smokes cigarettes. And I'm like, okay, but that's not like the expectation you're subverting here, buddy.
Right. Young fuck Pope. So you guys know about in Netflix, right? I watched, like, as I do the multitask thing sometimes, I'll put on a show. If I have no show, I'm like actively watching, and I'll like pop out some emails or whatever. But a show that I watched maybe 8 months ago was The Warrior Nun on Netflix.
Okay.
You know about this, right?
I think I've heard about it.
I've heard of it. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it? See, it's exactly what it feels like this is. It's like crazy Da Vinci Code bullshit, you know?
Okay. It's not like an anime adaptation?
It's not an anime, but at one point I was like just, typing on my typer, and then like I had probably watched like 5 episodes, and it just ran right through me like Taco Bell. Like I had no like distinction of time. But I looked over at my other screen and I saw like there's 2 nuns holding Uzis, and I literally was like, I don't know what I expected. It's Warrior Nun. So I think
right there in the title.
I think we have some sick kind of feel, like we want our priests and our nuns to be like fucking badass, and we'll just kick the shit. That's what made like Constantine great, right?
But then go all the way. Like that's right. So this is based off of a real priest who, according to the synopsis, performed more than 100,000 exorcisms in his lifetime. To which I hear that and I go, oh, that person's a criminal.
Yeah.
Like he did horrible things in his lifetime. Because again, can't stress this enough. Most exorcisms are people with like actual medical conditions being mistreated by the text of the art itself. And their own church.
I'm saying 98% of them are that in the text we were given. So 100,000 means what's 2% of 100,000? 8? My math's not great. Yeah,
exactly.
But like that's not very many actual demons he's exorcised. But even that is a significant number of actual demons this guy has claimed he's like sent back to hell. And it feels like that's front page news. Like if that's ever happened.
If that did happen.
And say it's happened enough times that he should bring a camera or something to document it. Like,
you think
how are they not insecure about this? How is the church not insecure whether or not we're believing him? Okay.
So he could have popped his iPhone out for one of these.
100,000. There ain't like how fast are these exorcisms?
Yeah.
That's
what
so
they're
many.
describing is a grifter. What I'm hearing is if you're performing 100,000 exorcisms,
you're describing a lie.
That's like when a faith healer says that they do they heal 20 people a day.
Well,
it's
Wilt Chamberlain.
You'd think that would show up in the news if that was true.
I'm saying Wilt Chamberlain got those numbers because he was banging 9-10 women at a time. Maybe that's the deal with the Pope's exorcist. They bring all the epileptic children into one room. He'd just go to an epilepsy ward and be like, okay, I got that. I'm gonna do 30 at a time.
Bring out You're sick. I'm going to throw water at them.
Right. And there's just a weird pattern, especially with exorcism movies, because they're also generic, of this horror genre that is like generic films about grifters. Like right. I would count The Conjurings under that too,
for real.
Where it's just like, let's do a very generic film about a grifter because for some reason they think they have to put based on a true story before the movie to make it like scarier. And it's like, first of all, just lie. Like, just say it's you don't have to fucking you're not legally held to that. But also, like, we know it's not, so like you don't have to put that. Like, yeah. I just don't understand this factory that churns them out because they're clearly making money. So there's got to be something to it.
Speaking of money, say you get $100 a pop for an exorcism. That dude made $10 million, and that's tax free because he works for the Pope. You can't. That's right. A religious organization. That's good money.
Yeah, and he's probably got a good investment plan because once again, he knows the Pope.
Yep.
Yeah, he's buddies with the Pope.
Damn. Yeah. He's also solving puzzles. That's the other thing we haven't talked about is that it is a horror movie. Mm-hmm. But it's also like, it at times literally feels like a Da Vinci Code because it's, he's like, I don't know, he's in like crypts and there's like, little panels that you have to put shit in. Like it's Uncharted or some shit. So... Like, I don't know. A lot
of the demons will give you, like, a riddle to solve. Yeah, exactly. You'll never get me out of here, creature, unless you solve my riddles.
Oh, no, it's Russell Crowe, the badass exorcist.
But it seems like the demons specifically wanted Russell Crowe because, we haven't even talked about this yet, but it looks like the plot is they're trying to possess the Pope's exorcist because if they can possess the Pope's exorcist, who the fuck could exorcise him? You get it? Like there's nobody above that.
Yeah.
Then you got a demon in a Russell Crowe, and then you could just do anything you want.
Right.
Yeah, you just have fun with the Pope. You can just go to town on the Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the demon and the kid can like full on like pick a person up with telekinetic powers and break their neck. Like they show that in the trailer. So imagine that, but like a little bit stronger because like Russell Crowe's got the strength of like 5 children.
God.
So like... I mean, we're talking turning cars inside out and shit.
Just with his bare hands. Here's the thing. I think we stumbled upon a fantastic movie. Because I just realized if I was a demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you get to the Pope? He's surrounded by all the shit that you hate.
Yep.
So it's...
Like a Pope heist?
Yeah, like a Pope possession heist.
Yeah, Pope heist.
Yeah, where you get to the Pope. That's what it should be called.
So the Pope's Exorcist is going to suck, but the Pope's Exorcist 2, Get to the Pope. That's going to be a good movie.
That's going to be a banger. I'm telling you, man, from the point of view of a demon, because it's like, he's got holy water around him. He's got hella crosses.
And again, this is all based on a true story. It's all happened.
All real.
Yep. So I just looked up
he picked up a lady with his mind, broke her neck, based on a true story. Based on a true story.
So I looked up the actual priest, Gabriel Amorth. So he's written 5 books.
This is the
on
Exorcist.
exorcism.
Yeah.
He has been tied to multiple films. He this is my favorite, at a film festival where he was there to introduce the exorcism film The Rite. He is quoted as saying that quote, practicing yoga is satanic. It leads to evil, just like reading Harry Potter.
Fantastic.
I love these takes. That is fantastic.
I know exactly why he thinks yoga is satanic, is because he probably has done so many exorcisms where he's like, they're bending around, it's a demon. Oh, it's fucking yoga. They're just doing yoga. And he feels tricked by that. And it's like
scared
Satan.
Old man.
Yeah.
He's just unwilling to see change as anything but demonic.
Yeah,
that's
I feel like
amazing.
you can't be a badass if you're afraid of yoga.
Yeah, I will argue that I bet Russell Crowe also thinks yoga is demonic. So 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he lets out audible screams if his wife suggests yoga.
Right.
I was hoping at the end of your list he's also personal friends with Steven Seagal.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had met.
They had met and shook hands and said, how many demons have you taken down? And then had a pissing contest about how many fake demons they've taken down.
Oh, man. What a nightmare. What a nightmare film.
He might have been right about Harry Potter, though. That's what's fucking weird.
Yeah, he's right in a weird way.
Base take, just off calling a shot, man.
Yeah. All right, final trailer. Sisu. Not Zissou, like Steve Zissou. Sisu. Sisu.
Shit.
This is from the director of Rare Exports. And this is just John Wick, but Nazis.
But an old Finnish man
Yeah.
killing Nazis.
If this movie's bad, I will be astonished. This looks so awesome.
It looks like a knock fucking out of the park.
Yes.
He in the trailer, he attacks a plane with a pickaxe.
And they know they're fucked. The guys in the plane are like,
No,
here's a zany thing to say before we die. We have no chance against the guy with the pickaxe.
And the setup is that it's 1944 Finland, and our John Wick finds just a crazy amount of gold, and then it just throws up on a super on the trailer. It says 500 miles from the nearest bank or whatever, and en route with his Finnish gold, he meets these zombies who are in tanks, trying to take over Finland, I assume, and he just goes to town on them, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
They do the Wonder Woman 1 scene where he's running up against machine guns with a little shield, the exact
they
shot.
do.
And I'm like, that's kind of maybe they went too far with his superpowers. But I love it. I love it. They're just unkillable. They say in the movie that he's not unkillable. He just refuses to die. Which, again, fantastic. No notes.
Yep.
No notes at all. No, this looks like it knows exactly what it is.
Simple. Let's watch some Nazis get fucking destroyed.
Yeah. This old guy was also in the Rare Exports movie, which is about Santa Claus, and I wonder if he played Santa, because then it's just that I think you should leave sketch.
It is.
Which I'm also down with. Yeah, this looks... I don't know, man. This looks... I'm no notes. This just looks like a lot of fun, right? Mm-hmm. It's gotten some buzz off the internet at this point for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I'm not a big history guy, but I do know that, Finland in World War II was it made a lot of hard men, and I like that this Sisu is the name of not giving up, the Finnish word for not giving up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I just hope that at one point in Act 3 it just says player 2 has entered the game, and it's just Tom Waits from Buster Scruggs. He's just hello Mr. Pocket, and he just starts bashing the heads in of 80 zombies.
Prospectors. Prospectors killing Nazis.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck it. I also like that this movie is filled with actors who you just know, just basically their entire resume is Nazi number 1, Nazi number 3.
Yeah,
they get a call from their agent. They're like, yeah, I know. I know what this is about.
I'm sorry.
Is it a Nazi role?
I couldn't get your part in Der Schwarm, but I have a Nazi role for you.
All right, give me the Nazi role, I guess.
I gotta eat.
Yeah, no, this is I saved it for last because out of all these trailers, this is the one I'm the most hyped out of.
Easily.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this movie 20 times.
Yeah. I'm so hopeful.
Yeah, me too. Well, should we name some more producers
Let's
before
go
we get
for
into
round
news stories?
2.
All right.
Oh, the hype is high.
Big thank you to David Knife Boom Henson. Thank you.
Whoop.
Thank you to Deborah is awesome, Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Yeah.
Thank you to Driftless wrote Mabel's name in the Witch's Book of Blood.
Woo.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terresticle.
Hi.
Thank you to Evil Ed 209. Thank you to Exploding Runes. Thank you to Funky J, mostly comes out at night. Mostly. Thank you to Glitterous, CFO of Michael Shannon's Chocolate Factory.
Woo! Let's keep it going with Heathcliff's Helpin' Handfuls.
Thank you.
And also, Ombre says, Mabel, step on me.
Yes.
Let's hear it for James Cameron's Prolapse Locomotive.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget Krishnanovich
And how.
And also, look, Ma, I'm on a podcast.
Thank you.
Let's not forget Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Yes.
And also Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Let's hear it for Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
And also, no one can hear you scream in space, McNulty.
Thank you. All right. Second Hellboy reboot. They've done it. Will be the third go.
Yes.
They did the Guillermo del Toro, which I would argue was good. And we didn't need to do any more after that.
I think then they got it first try.
Yeah, then they did the David Harbour one, which I liked the vibes, but I didn't actually care for that movie very much.
Right.
And now they're doing another one.
Right.
Why?
I read
do you suppose
the article that it's I don't know the comics, and maybe Sean can speak to it, but it's set in the late 50s, so maybe it's a story that like comic fans are like real big fan of, like a story arc. I don't know, but the lack of fan in me says that I've had my fill of Hellboy, but I get it. You know, it's a big IP, big money.
I never got it either. It feels like a uniquely expensive and unappealing character. Like it doesn't have the star power of any of the other comic book characters, and yet also just massive amounts of prosthetic and special effects required. I don't know why they keep trying for Hellboy. It just feels so weird.
I don't know either. I don't hate it because it's like it's not precious to me, but it does. Here's what I'll say. The director is Brian Taylor, who is known having worked with someone else on such films as Crank High Voltage, Gamer, Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. They then broke up that team, and he since did Mom and Dad and something called Happy, which I didn't see.
Okay.
Point
Happy's
being
great.
that like this could be fun. This could be a fun movie.
Happy had an excellent vibe to it. That was a Grant Morrison comic where this maniac has a little imaginary friend. I think it's his daughter's imaginary friend is coming to him to help him find his daughter. And Patton Oswalt does the voice in the show.
All right.
And it's madness. No, in like a great way. So
yeah.
And that Crank 2, I think, is a modern classic.
I would say if they do what they did to Ghost Rider, because Ghost Rider, the second one, felt like them going, yeah, no one cares about Ghost Rider. Let's just have as much fun as we can. Right. So like if he comes into Hellboy, just be like, fuck it, let's get real gnarly. Yeah. Then I'll probably enjoy it. Although I will say that's what the last Hellboy did, and that I didn't love because I think I felt that one like it almost wasn't fun enough, which is weird to say because I'm sure a lot of people are like bullshit, but like I didn't have that much fun watching that movie. Mm-hmm. And so I started noticing like how little sense it started to make after a while.
Yeah. And as a non-fan, and I understand you can, if you're a big fan of Hellboy, immediately discount what I'm saying, but like from an outside perspective of all this like IP and stuff, I feel like at the time that Guillermo del Toro was doing it, in the eyes of like the performance, Ron Perlman, like we saw the snark quotient of those movies as acceptable. And then since then, we've had a whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's like, oh, we're kind of already out. We're like snarked out a little bit. And that's like near and dear to the heart of Hellboy. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck. You know, he's kind of like flippant with lives and doesn't care. And that's a lot of fun. But we've seen, it's not that Hellboy hasn't done it. And I'm sure there's times that are great where you can go to the comic and say, like, look how fun that is. And I'd agree. But it's like, over the span of other IPs and other, you know, things that we've seen in greenlit and have done well, we've really seen enough, I think, of like that kind of attitude.
It's not just that; it's that as someone who doesn't know the comics, the Guillermo del Toro Hellboys, to me, were the best version, and it's almost like if we did Jurassic Park with Spielberg. And then a few years later, kept doing other Jurassic Parks.
Right.
Like, no, it's not sequels, mind you. Other adaptations, like, we didn't nail it. We didn't nail it. And it's like, I think you nailed it.
Right.
I think you did as good as it can be. and we're good.
Yeah, it's great.
But of course, you could say that about the Michael Keaton Batmans, and obviously they kept making more of those, and a lot of those are good. So there's this attitude of nothing goes away. It's just, this is a weird one for me that they just keep doing it, and they're so close to each other now, and I just don't know what they want anymore. I don't know why they're okay, redo. The last one, why not sequel that one? If you're gonna make another one, make a sequel to that. That movie. I didn't care for that movie that much, but it was had a lot of talent behind it.
Yeah.
So
what are they gonna
just
do?
make a sequel.
That's my thing. What are they gonna do that we haven't seen before?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But we'll see. The reboots always have that opportunity to take something that we've seen before and maybe make something we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Speaking of things I don't understand, the live-action Lilo and Stitch will be on Disney Plus and stars Zach Galifianakis. I assume as Lilo, right? Obviously.
Yeah, the little girl, the little
girl,
Yeah.
not the alien monster dog capable of ripping everything in the world apart.
Right. This feels. I don't know. I mean, I know why they're doing it because they like money, but
Well, I think it's going to be weirder than we all think. I actually once I saw who's attached, I was like, this might be sneaky good. Well, the director is the director of Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which I don't know if you guys seen, but it's magical realism stuff. So it's probably this movie's probably going to be wild and completely reimagine everything.
Or it's going to be the work of an artist who has been severely beaten down by the studio system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he made Marcel, and they're like, that's great. Next, you're doing Lilo and Stitch. And he's like,
it's Disney, baby.
Okay, Zach, you got to do an Elvis impersonation for just 40 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
We'll get through this.
Well, one for them.
Think of the money. We're talking Pope's Exorcist money.
I do need to note something. The role of Stitch has been credited to someone else.
Okay.
Chris Sanders. I don't know who Zach Galifianakis is playing.
Wow.
Probably Dad.
Who in that
There
movie?
are a couple of aliens that pursue them. Maybe he's one of the.
Oh
wacky
yeah,
aliens.
he's probably. You're right. He's got to be one of those. You're right. He's probably the mad scientist
That could be.
inventor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could just be another children's nonsense. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Marcel
know.
was it pulled the old heartstrings. It could be, good kid stuff.
I would say Lilo and Stitch is fucking good. The original, I really liked it. It was probably the last original Disney movie that really connected with me. And part of that is because it was probably the last one where I was young enough to care.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in my 20s, but it was at this point, nothing gets frozen or any of the other original ones. So the point being that if they just base it off, if they're just doing a live action adaptation of that, then it can be good, and that director has a lot of opportunities to make it even better, right? So maybe it'll be that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll see it when my daughter asks me to put it on, but not until then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know why it's Disney Plus. That seems like what are we doing? Why is it Disney Plus? The reason why is exactly what you said, where it's it's the same situation with my niece and nephew, where it's they want it on a TV. You don't bring the kid to go see a movie. You need something to put on the TV, and you need something to put it on right then. And so it makes sense to me why kids movies go straight to streaming more. Because it's who wants to bring a smelly kid to a theater?
Not me. Fuck them kids.
Mm-hmm.
We just rented out a theater for Ant-Man, and it's the best way to watch a movie with a kid because they just go fucking crazy. A couple other friends brought their kids, and they're just running around having beanbag fights while we watch the movie, and we're not having to get in fist fights because of it.
Yep. I used to do that when I worked at a theater. We do this is very illegal, by the way, unofficial showings of movies that we'd all just get drunk in the theater and run around like kids. Yeah, it really is. Let's talk about some more producers, shall we?
Okay. Yes, we shall.
All right. Big thank you to Norm from Cheers. Whoop. Thank you. Thank you to Pete for Pagel.
Hype.
Thank you to Numino Ultramicroscopic Silicovolcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones. Thank you. Thank you to pre-order TikTok superstar Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. Pre-orders are super important.
Hype.
Thank you to RevMD. Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Hype.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead. Thank you to Screaming Horse New Year's Baby.
Woo.
Thank you to Snapper Car Punches God in the Dick. Thank you to Steven. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's thank the Midnight Patron. What patrons at midnight?
Thank you.
And the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Let's thank these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Let's thank Tiger Drawers, Pratt Thompson, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Beautiful.
Let's hear it for Tip Drizzle.
Also beautiful.
Let's hear it for the To Be Terror Bunny says, watch Dead Heat.
Sure.
But let's give it up for Tux.
Tux.
And not forget Vincent.
Vincent.
Or your mom. And last but not least, Zzz, because Pie Guy likes being last.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Woo.
Perfect.
So, this is where I come in. This is the part of the podcast where I am supposed to say, Dave, do you have a movie that deserves more hype? Really?
Yeah.
You do? Yes.
No fooling.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Tell us, Dave.
Oh, yeah. This is called Moon Garden.
Woo!
This is coming out select theaters in spring. Don't know much more about that. This is from the editor of Moonfall.
What?
The director of this is the editor of Moonfall. This has got 100% Rotten Tomatoes, but it doesn't have that many reviews, just 8. But this is one where it's a real you have to see it. A good comparison is, what was that, Mad God, Phil Tippett?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is, or Alice, that German film. I would actually say this is closer to that in my mind. You know what I'm talking about? That fucked up German Alice in Wonderland.
I think they're
stop
both
motion.
like unavoidable comparisons.
Yeah, this is bleak. This is not a kid's movie, although it stars a small child. It's about a small child who is clearly the victim of domestic violence, who slips and goes into a coma, and in the coma is in a dark nightmare world with a I think it's called Mr. Teeth is the monster that feeds off of the kid's tears.
So that guy ran the Muppets band.
Oh,
he lost his doctor. They stripped him of his license. Now he's just a Mr. Teeth. It sounds like a sucker punch for toddlers, I guess is what you're describing.
Yes. And it was shot on expired 35mm film, which I don't know why you need to do that. Just use digital. That's so much easier to use digital, guys. They must not know about digital.
It's got to be it.
Yeah, it was shot all on vintage cameras. Again, I don't know why. That just seems hard. Tons of practical effects. Dealing like every kind. It looks like it has reverse filming, like stop motion, every fucking practical trick in the book, and it's like a real fucking like you said, Sucker Punch and Alice in Wonderland, where the kid is on a radio trying to because his mother's talking to him while he's in the coma, and that's heard from the kid as being on a radio, and he's trying to find his way back, his or hers, I forget, and it's bleak as fuck and looks creepy as shit. What did you guys think of this trailer?
It looks like a very dense work of art that I will never be in the mood for.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like a beautifully crafted, lovingly put together, exhausting piece of art that I'm sure will just be so appealing to somebody.
Mm-hmm. It's a young. This type of film is like a young person's game. Is how I always think of it. Where it's like I always think about like that film Alice. First time I saw it, I was like 16 and just high off my ass.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would I do that? Why would I do that to myself? Why would I think? And it's because like when you're young, you're like, yeah, fuck it. And so like I'll probably see this, but
many film students after watching this are gonna get laid. You have no idea.
Oh yeah. It looks real bleak.
It's real bleak. And I think the concept is pretty cool for a movie. It's like if you've played that video game Psychonauts, it's like let's like jump into the brain and see what the brain's all about if it was like an actual 3D space. Or like Coraline. I'm also getting like Gilliam vibes. I know we've mentioned a lot about like the stop motion steampunk dream vibe. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
like I'm definitely here for the visuals, but yeah, kind of what Sean said about it might be too exhausting. I'll probably give it a watch, and then I'm gonna see if it overstays its welcome, because that thing about shooting on old cameras and exposed film, that's not my bag. That's not how it works.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm in the mood for like seeing something where there's like just a density of visual effects, and you're like, wow, this is great. And you want to like Google it and try to really appreciate all the effort that went into it. But then also with like something at this level of elevated art, like there's going to be a lot of visual allegories and symbolism and things. And it's all just like something I can sometimes be really into. I just don't see that happening. I've been behind on deadlines since like 2003. I just don't have time for this kind of shit.
Right. It's compared in the reviews to Pan's Labyrinth, Neverending Story, Return to Oz, Dark Crystal, and it's like, oh, okay. So it's a nightmare. I will say it does. I like how, like, there's this beauty to how grotesque it looks that I do think is hard to capture. Like, I always think of Meet the Feebles, the Peter Jackson film.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the teeth in this are like these chattering teeth in darkness always that, like, light up. And, like, there's shit like that where I'm like, ooh, that's really good nightmare imagery, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I do like it when someone really perfectly captures nightmare imagery in a way that doesn't feel derivative.
Yeah.
And, like, that is the vibe I get from this. But it does feel like it's going to be a fucking chore to watch.
Maybe not in a bad way, but yeah, this seems like if you, like, look at your phone during this, I would feel guilty. I'd be like, God, I just looked away from 700 hours worth of fucking effort.
That's how I felt with Mad God. I was like, I looked down and I looked up and I'm like, oh, that was like 8 years of someone's life.
But yeah, I think the people listening, they know what this is. If you are, if you know who you are for this one,
you freaks.
You know, like we covered Skinamarink on here in the same, you know, and it's like these are all films that are like, they're taxing on the soul or on the patience, depending on who you are. But other people are going to fucking love this. So
I tapped so hard out on Skinamarink. I'm just like 40 minutes in. I'm like, all right, I gave you a shot. People said you were good, but you got it.
Oh, man. I just didn't
Time is money, baby.
I watched that trailer and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that one. It's like there's no characters in it. Well, then I have no one to look at.
No, thank you. Then.
I don't want to look at houses.
Well, that's a sode.
That is a sode.
It's a frothy.
I'm all hyped
tall
up.
sode.
My whole day from here on in, it's just like a shot of cocaine right into my brainstem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I hope everybody regards this as cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And thank you both for being on here. Sean, do you wanna plug your stuff another
Let's do
time?
it again. Yeah, why not? 1-900hotdog.com. Me and Robert Brockway and a host of talented contributors, some of which you'll know from Cracked, others from other places. We all are there every day making jokes, just like it's the old-timey fun internet.
Yeah. Yeah, old-timey internet.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best.
I love it. I love it so bad.
What's your deal?
All right,
you do your deal?
I'm going to do, so patreon.com/smallbeans. Here's the thing. I want to tell everybody about a new show that's coming out. And it's going to be it's going to be right up your alley, everybody listening to this, because it's got Dave in it, and it's got
Dave?
me in it. You, Dave, you're in it.
Oh!
And it releases
That's a great Dave.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Good pick.
On
pick.
Monday, the 27th, of this February, we're talking. The show is called Inside Dads, and it is basically about us trying to dissect what the dad movie is, because we never have it's a prevalent, it's a meme, you know, it's a thing that we
Sisu.
all.
It's gonna be Sisu.
It's gonna be Sisu. Yeah, it's we know exactly what we mean when we say it, and so we're gonna watch a bunch of dad movies, and you're gonna listen to us figure this shit out, and and we're gonna harness our inner dad until you just get real sloppy with it. It's gonna be great.
Keep me in mind for any of the Rambo episodes. Those are great dad movies.
Yes, you got it, my man.
And that's over at Small Beans. Abe, do you want to reveal what the first movie we cover is?
Yes, so you can watch
plan
it
ahead?
Yeah, so you can plan ahead. So the first movie that we're gonna cover, which I'm very excited about because it's the movie that basically Dave and I like bonded.
Yeah.
Like we basically was like, hey, you down with this? Yeah, can we be friends? And that movie is The Judge with Robert Duvall and Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
Yes, that one. The Judge. We're gonna be talking
Sean,
about dramas, baby.
You love The Judge? You love The Judge,
I
Sean?
vaguely remembered. I can't get in this the Judge circle with you though. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Right.
It can just be me and Dave together.
It's your thing. It's
together
just-
forever, Dave.
So everybody watch The Judge before Monday.
I was expecting a very strange choice. That's strange in a direction I wasn't expecting.
That's right.
We're easing into this.
We zag when you want us to zig, baby.
You won't believe this crazy pick I have. Tin Cup, starring Kevin Costner.
Yes, Tin Cup, baby. Let's go.
Ooh, I want to watch Tin Cup now. Fuck.
Bull Durham.
What was that one? Swing State? Remember Swing State?
God damn, dude.
Listen, folks, we got a Patreon over here. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed. We got exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder's a Maniac. We do stuff with the Small Beans, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night with our patrons. GameFullyUnemployed.com gets you to our merch store, t-shirts and mugs and posters and so on. And that is it. Everybody say goodbye. Everybody say The Judge.
Yes, that's
The Judge.
The Judge.
Starring Robert
Judge.
Duvall.
Yeah, shitting himself.
Yeah, he does.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.